I guess we're going live. We're live. Oh my God, we're live. Is this live or is this Memorex? I just want to say I just got a letter from YouTube that I'm now in the fold again. They demonetized me before and it says, "Congratulations, your YouTube channel, Major Tim to Ground Control, has been accepted into the YouTube Partnership Program and is now able to monetize on YouTube," even though I had been doing it for 7 years, 6 years or something, I don't know. To get you started, check out the YouTube Creator Hub. Okay, so I guess I deleted enough videos that were questionable on whether I was violating someone's copyright or not, which, anyway, that was then, this is now. I'm not going to dwell on the past. Now that I'm re-allowed to be monetized, I'm just going to be happy and put up videos again. So thank you guys all for staying with me in this interesting time when I didn't post videos for a while. I was almost at 1 million views, and then because I deleted all those videos that seemed questionable, it brought me down to 700,000 views. So the good thing is 700,000 were all completely my original making. The other 250,000 were people's videos that I shared that weren't on YouTube, so I thought they should be shared, which I put on there for educational purposes only because no one else had them up. I did monetize those, which maybe is, to some people's standards, unethical. I don't know. I'm drinking it. I just drank a little margarita tonight. I had a really good massage because I've been having a stressful week. I haven't been selling cars as much as I should, but no one at my work has been. We've been slower than shit. But anyway, I've been enjoying making 50 calls a day almost. Working Bell, which we would call Bell from 8 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night, 13-hour shifts every once in a while, and then you get a day off or so. Also, we can get Saturday and Sunday every other week off, which I've never had in the car business in the last 2 jobs I ever had. But anyway, welcome back to my channel, and I'm going to start putting up videos again, and I'm glad I'm not offensive to advertisers anymore and violating people's copyrights anymore, which I don't think I was really doing because, anyway, that's a debate for another day. But I'm glad I'm back. I'm going to put up some videos. I've made a lot of funny videos, crazy videos in the last few weeks that I'd never put up because I was protesting them demonetizing myself. And I wonder if they'll like give me all the money back from all the shit I should have got money for that I didn't get money for because they didn't let me monetize during that time. Because they said that about the one song that they said I was using someone else's copyright, which was a song I never heard of, which is kind of crazy because I was playing a Nirvana mixed with Michael Jackson. And I guess this new rap band that I never heard of and the song I never heard of from them uses the same chords, and they somehow thought I was using their chords, and they finally realized I wasn't. So they said, "Oh, we're sorry. We've declared your video is not," after this third attempt of me saying no, I'm not using their copyright because I never heard of that fucking stupid song. They finally said, "Okay, I guess you're not," because we went and actually listened to your damn song instead of just using robots to listen to it. But hello, Melissa Pike and everyone else listening. I'll be putting up some new videos, and I gotta be more careful on putting up other people's videos that don't maybe want me to have their videos up. Hi, Melissa. What else I want to talk about? My daughter and wife went back to Japan. They were here for 3 months. They had a really interesting time. My daughter got bullied the first month in her one school, so we took her out of that school because she kept coming home crying and saying she doesn't want to go back to school anymore. So I brought her to a school, and she really liked the second school. I'm not going to name the schools. I'll name the schools she likes. She likes Kit Carson's school, which is close to our house, a little further than the other one that was right across the street. That was the reason I put her in that school is that was the only one in this area that was Chinese and Spanish immersion program, but she got bullied by the Latina girls that, I don't know, maybe they were jealous because she's really cute, and they were fat and ugly. I shouldn't say that, but maybe that's what they believed about themselves, and that's why people bully people, because they believe they don't. No one likes them because of whatever they believe about themselves. So maybe they thought they were fat and ugly. I didn't think they were fat and ugly, but that's just the awareness I had of what maybe they thought. And since my daughter's a kind of skinny Japanese, half white girl, are you in Vegas? I've never been to Vegas in my whole life. Can you believe that? It was not until I was 35 that I ever went to Mexico either. I know I was 32 or 31. Yeah. No, it was right before I turned 30. I was actually just 30 when I went to Mexico because I had a girl that I was at a crush on at work. Oh, interesting. No, there's a school here with. Oh yeah, there's a lot of Kit Carson schools. There's a Kit Carson Park in Escondido that I used to perform at. There's a bunch of Kit Carson schools all around. Kit Carson was an explorer, revolutionary somehow. He went out, conquered new lands, probably killed a lot of Indians. I don't know. But anyway, he was a wild guy, frontier man. There's a lot of schools named themselves after Kit Carson. So my wife got really hurt because she fell on the skating floor when someone knocked her over and didn't stop and help her up and didn't say sorry, because the guy didn't even know he knocked her over. I talked to him a week later and told him he knocked her over, and she got really hurt. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that." I said, "I probably figured you didn't know that." But then the other day I was at SeaWorld and I ran into him with probably his parents. And I said, "Oh, you're the guy who knocked over my wife." And he was like, "Whoa," and he just ran away. So I was like, "Oh, I guess I shouldn't be saying stuff like that." Because I was kind of stoned. Actually, I was really stoned. So I'm glad I'm back. I'm in the fold. I'm not a total rebel. I'm not as revolutionary as I thought I was, I guess. Maybe I can make some videos that'll really piss a lot of people off, and then they'll demonetize me again. I wonder if the YouTube people that actually had to go back and they fucking watched some of my crazy videos, like which was a total comedy video, why I voted for Donald Trump, which I didn't vote for. Why I was going to vote for Donald Trump, because he was going to bring us back to the good old days when we can hang witches and we can blow up cities with neutron, proton bombs. What were they called? Nuclear weapons. And we can put polio in people's blankets, and we can hang our next door neighbors, and we can shoot our plantation workers if they don't fall in line. And we can pinch Denny's girls' butts and stuff because we paid the tip. It was a total joke, but some people actually got shocked and thought I was really going to vote for Trump and thought I really believed in all those things because I was talking in a hick accent. And anyway, you got to go back and find it. You can't even find it. If you search Major Tim to Ground Control or Tim Janakis, why I voted for Donald Trump, you can't even find it. So you have to actually go onto my channel and you have to search through all my videos to find it, because they blocked that one because it was not advertiser friendly. The other ones they blocked were my 2 or 3 videos of my song believed to be linked to Al Qaeda from being monetized. And one of them, they said, another video they blocked was an actual guy who hung himself in Japan that I took a video of. That was really weird. I was going through a park and they said, "Oh, there's a guy who hung himself over here." I'm like, "Oh, wow, I get to get my video. I've never seen such a thing." This is definitely a cultural thing that you don't see many times in America, people hanging themselves from trees. But in Japan, in the rural areas, a lot of people do hang themselves for whatever reason. He hung himself right next to his little work truck. Maybe his company was going out of business and he couldn't pay the bills or whatever, and he was shamed. And so he hung himself off his truck. It was really sad, but he's probably in his 40s or 50s. A lot of people do that in Japan when they feel they have no other way to support their family, or their business is going out of business and they feel shamed and they have to lay off employers, and they don't want to do that. So they feel as the boss, they have to take full responsibility. That's what they used to do back in the war. They would stick their stuff with a knife and cut open their heart and do hotty-toddy, actually. I think it's called. But no, they just hang themselves. Still, people do that. A lot of people in Japan, or they're bullied or something, or someone broke up with them and they thought they'd never have a girlfriend again. Which I remember my first girlfriend. I thought the same thing. I thought I was going to kill myself. Luckily, I survived. I chanted enough and got all the pain out of me for took me 2 or 3 years, but I got through it. There's ways out. There's always another way out. Okay, what else is we asking? Oh, can I see this message? Retracted. Oh my God, there was a retracted message. I would like to retract a lot of my messages. I said some things that offended people. I guess I should make a. I'm sure there's some Nichiren Shu priests that are not, brainwashed sheeple, because I was talking about the historical founding of Nichiren Shu and the stuff that the Nichiren Shu did during the war that made people stupidly think that Nichiren religion is actually anything to do with Nichiren Daishonin, has to do with nationalism, which it's actually antithesis of. But it was bastardized by Nichiren Shu to promote the war, and that was actually anyway, you can go back and watch that video. Although I was historically accurate in it, I offended a lot of people, so sorry. I probably offended a lot of people in other movies, videos I've made, and if you've been offended, that wasn't the point of doing the video. It was actually to wake some people up that are sleepwalking, that might actually resonate with another point of view that they might see as a way out of their distorted understanding of reality. Yeah, access consciousness. I've done so many videos on access consciousness, and I took down some of the access consciousness videos that I know Dane here probably didn't want me to have up, and Gary Douglas didn't want me to have up. I took them down. I'm not going to take the Rika Zimmerman ones down unless Rika Zimmerman herself asked me to take them down. Rika, if you're listening, I will take them down if you ask. Yes, nicely. Kiss my toes. No, I don't think I'll have to kiss my toes. But yeah, access consciousness, there's so many parallels between access consciousness and the final teachings of Buddhism, which we practice in Nichiren Buddhism. Someone on the video said, why doesn't Soka Gakkai call it Nichiren Daishonin Buddhism? It just sounds goofy and sounds, it's like, why don't you call the United States the United Colonies, 13 colonies that became 51, whatever, republics? Because it would be stupid. You just call it the United States, even though it should be called the United Cities or something. Because states are actually countries, but that's why the United Nations can't call itself the United States, because we stole it. Actually, the United States of Colombia called itself the United States as well, when before they broke apart by the U.S., helped them break apart. When we stole them, what did we steal? We stole Panama. We helped some rebels rebel, and then we brought in our Navy and said, if you fight these rebels, we're going to start bombing you, because we're protecting them to declare independence, which they were actually working for us. It was a big hoax, heist, I was trying to say. Okay, how is your experience with access consciousness? Okay, access consciousness has really opened up so much of my Buddhist practice, and allowed me to fully claim on and acknowledge that I am a Buddha from time without beginning, which is what my teachings of Buddhism actually have taught me all my life. It's just a matter of going one step further and fully actualizing, be willing to acknowledge it. So Gary Douglas really talks a lot about acknowledging your amazingness. If you don't acknowledge your amazingness, then you're not being the gift you came here to be, to inspire other people to step into the same greatness that you're choosing. And it's not an arrogance. A lot of times people think from my videos I'm being arrogant because I'm saying I'm a Buddha from time without beginning and I'm a infinite being and I'm a Buddha of absolute freedom. No, I'm actually saying I am oneness, I am you, you are me, we are all together, which is actually what John Lennon wrote in I Am the Walrus. And he was actually saying that because he was talking about the religion of Paulism, which is the religion that was created by the Beatles to worship their dead friend named Paul McCartney, which now Billy Shears, aka William Wallace Campbell, Sir Billy, who I love, took the part of. Anyways, it's a long story. You got to go back and read those things. I was actually first reading about that, thinking it was just totally nuts, but I would get into it, and the further I dived into it, the more I realized that it actually he was replaced in 1966 or so, 67. I can't remember. Access consciousness has helped me come out of my shell and get over so much of where I judged myself. Or actually, I was picking up the judgments other people had of themselves and using it, that projection and expectation and conclusion and judgment of other people, because I was so aware and I was so conscious and I thought it was me, them judging me. So I judged myself because people couldn't, whatever. But I was actually being more greatness than anyone was choosing to be in all the times I thought I was being judged, where he let me realize that anytime someone judges you, it's because they are not willing to be what you're being, and they have to create separation, because if they don't, it'll destroy their myth called the reality that they're functioning from, which is all limitations. How can I say more? There's so many videos I made about access consciousness and so many healing shows I've done where it's been recorded and it's on YouTube that I use access clearing. I even made a crazy video where I said I believe Gary Douglas is the reincarnation of a certain person, which I still believe, which is kind of way out there, because actually I don't believe. I have the awareness of. So the great thing is exactly like Buddhism teaches, that you have the wisdom within you, and access consciousness calls it knowing that you know, and allowing yourself to know that you know, and not having to follow anyone else, because you have awareness, which is a state of being in Buddhism we call enlightenment. It's the 10th world in Buddhism. And there's so many parallels, like this idea of human and humanoid. Human, for Buddhism, we call people that are stuck in the four lower worlds of hell, hunger, animality, and anger. They function based on judgment and separation, and based on everyone else is wrong and they're right, and especially the world of anger. But people in the higher worlds of humanity are tranquility, heaven, which is we call rapture, learning, realization, and altruism or bodhisattva, and then enlightenment or Buddhahood. Those higher six worlds are functioning, most of them, like what access consciousness calls a humanoid. And I had mixed feelings back and forth about this idea of human and humanoid, as if it's two different species, which they postulate that idea, whether they believe or not, because access consciousness said they don't believe anything, because all beliefs are limitations, but they have the awareness of these people are functioning two different ways, and it's not wrong or right. But in Buddhism, we just say people are stuck in these lower worlds, but I've seen so many people transition to where they bring their dominant life state up to the higher worlds of learning, realization, or compassion, and no longer function in the trauma drama of what Access calls human reality, as opposed to humanoid reality, which is actually people that are on a higher path. So I've seen so many people in the 40-something years I've been in this Buddhist practice that function like what access consciousness calls humans, but they became more humanoid-like over time because they became more compassionate, more tolerant, more caring, more loving, more wise people, no longer blaming other people like what they say humans do, which is just people in the lower four worlds. So Gary Douglas and Dane here doesn't have the experience of seeing people convert from what they call a human to a humanoid. So they figure that just can't be done because maybe it can't be done with access alone, or maybe humans, people in the lower four worlds are not drawn to the teachings of access consciousness. And I call them teachings, even though people can call them a different thing. I call it a religion too, but that gives me if I call it Buddhism or religion, I have to call access consciousness a religion because and I have a whole video on why the ABCs of religion in that definition that I think is a good definition of religion. It follows those A, B's, and C's that Buddhism does too. Anyway, that's a long old story. So I just want to say I'm glad to be back, and I'm going to be making videos and putting them up. And I'm glad they're monetizing my stuff again because I make very little on these videos, and you're not allowed to say how much you make, even though I have said it on a few videos, which could have got me demonetized by that, but that wasn't the reason. They said I got to read you exactly what they said before. Okay, I got to find that one. YouTube demonetized. See if I can find it that way. No, it's a comment on my video on demonetized. No longer monetizable. Is that a word? No. Anyway, I should have looked it up before I made this video, but I want to read their. I'll find it sometime and make a video. But they said basically the majority of my videos, which are actually a very small percentage of, if you count up, I've made over fucking like 3,000 or 4,000 videos over the last 7 years. A very small percentage of those were not my completely original material, should I say. And I took down those ones, but I am using videos that I created based on other people's works because those works aren't yet up on YouTube. So I figure it's a crime to not allow people to experience those if there's nowhere else they can get them. They can't even buy them from anyone because once Rika Zimmerman stopped doing access consciousness, she was the main reason why I became an access consciousness, I could say member of access consciousness, or I became a follower of access consciousness. I never went to an actual meeting, group, class, or whatever you want to call them, because I was in Japan the whole time and there was none on the backside of Japan until finally I left Japan. And in the last year I was there was actually one bars facilitator in the backside of Japan, and she wouldn't do bars on me because she said her clinic was only for women. Although at first she said she would do healing on me because she did invite men, but she said there was too many men who wanted to do bars and she didn't want to do any bars anymore because she decided she wanted to only do women. I was like, wow, totally Japanese sexism. Anyway, so I'm going to start putting up some of the videos that I've done over the last month or so since I was demonetized, since I'm remonetized, and get my watches up above 700,000 because I was almost to 1 million when I deleted all those videos. It took down all those numbers from those videos. But it's good to know that the ones I did make of me talking and me reading and me, most of those are now part of the 700 whatever views. I think any one of my live performances or my music videos should have more than 1 million views, but since it's hard to even find my music if you search for it, I've actually had a few people that put up other people's videos musically, and they put up mine, and they were wondering why. They thought there was some kind of like algorithm they set up against my music because my music's too mind awakening or something. I don't know what they said exactly, but I thought that was kind of weird if that were the case, because I did do a few songs that maybe could have pissed off a few people, or maybe a lot of people. But I do have a lot of other normal songs that inspire a lot of people too. So I just try to write what comes to me. I'm like kind of like a channeler when I write. I've been doing that for 20-something years. Psych K, yes. I had a lot of my clients, a lot of my radio listeners talk about Psych K and do Psych K. I haven't actually studied it as much as I would like to in the future, but I've studied things similar to Psych K. I did watch a lot of Psych K videos. People sent me. I'll get into that sometime when I have time, but right now I'm into so many other things. So I'm going to call it a night, and thank you guys for supporting me. And let's get the views back up to 1 million, where we almost were before I deleted all those videos. And hopefully I'll start making a little bit of money so I can buy a new video camera, because I broke my $400 video camera that I had on my motorcycle. Gotta get a new one. This little video camera just on my laptop doesn't do me justice for the videos I want to make. So I gotta get a lot more views, get back up to 1 million. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, peace out. I'm going to bed, and I'll be at you guys in the near future. See ya.